Hello, is my voice audible?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
great. Okay, thanks for confirming. Okay, we'll just wait for 5 minutes, let others join, then we'll just start off with today's session. Okay, guys, so we'll just start off with today's session. So, my voice is audible. Can you please confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thanks for confirming. So, today we'll just see from scratch how we can just build a dashboard from the data that we will be taking from that we actually have taken from from internet, maybe any of the Kaggle website or any other website, fine. And eventually we'll see how we can form a like interactive dashboard. Eventually we'll move into SQL part. We'll see the theory basically, how what SQL is and how we will be going ahead with the performance and working with SQL. Fine. So my screen is visible to you,
No, ma'am.
guys. Hello.
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am, not visible.
Okay, okay, fine. Just a minute. So now is it visible? My screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, fine, great. So here you can see that this is the raw data that I have taken it. So whenever you are taking the raw data, also try to just format it, fix the alignment, whatever be the alignment, and try to convert it in a table format so that at least it looks pleasing to see that though it is my raw data, not the pre-processed data, then also it should look good. Look, at least based on the formatting part, I need to take into account that this is the data that will I will work on. Okay, so this is my data. This is the sales data basically. So here I'll see I have order date, item ID I am having, region I am having, then the representative I am having, items, then units I am having, unit cost I am having, and the total value I am having. So this is the data that I am taking into consideration. Okay. So here, in case of order date, I have a date in a certain format. Next item ID I am having, that is that depicts the that you can see as a primary key or the unique key that is unique for each of the transaction that has taken place for each of the items. It is like that. Next is the region. Region, it basically divided into four regions like central, east, and west. These are the region based on which the items has been divided, and then the representative. What representative actually shows? It gives the name of some of the people who have taken into account and brought these items maybe. So in that format, we have taken the representative. Next is the item. It showcases what are the items that we are taking into account. Units, like what is the specific unit of that
Ma'am,
of
your
that
screen is not visible.
not visible. Guys, are you?
No, ma'am.
Is it
No, ma'am, visible.
Ma'am, it's visible.
Visible, ma'am.
okay?
It's visible, ma'am.
Who is not able to see my screen? Okay, who is not able to see my screen? Just you can just rejoin because you might face some internet issue. Okay. So I was in the unit section. So what unit section actually says? So unit section basically says like for item named as pencil, 95 unit of a pencil has been brought on the date 6th Jan 2024, and the representative who actually brought it is John. Okay, John's, this person has brought this item. So unit is how much quantity of that specific item that has been brought. So unit specify this part. Next is the unit cost. Unit cost like per item, like the per item, what is the cost of a single pencil that is enlisted up in unit cost, and total that is actually the multiplication of the unit with the unit cost. Okay, this is already there. It is not that I have included this total value. It was already there in the data set. So, did you people understood what the data is and what it signifies? Because that is the basic part that we need to check on. Guys, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine, great. So this is the raw data that I am having. Now we'll just move into the pre-processed data. Okay, so this is my pre-processed data. So this yellow columns are the one that I have made and taken into consideration to pre-process my data. Fine. So just a moment. Yeah. So for pre-processing, I have taken into count this 12 steps. We can take into count this 11 step. I have got it in the visualization part later in the data set. Here I have just taken it down. But for the reference purpose, in case of pre-processing step, we have just taken into count from just a moment. Let me just Yes. So I have taken into account first the checking for the missing values. What are the missing values that I need to check and that I need to go ahead with, that I have taken into consideration. Next, I have corrected the data types because data types need to be corrected, because without that, we won't be able to go ahead and process our data, right? Process with our data. Next, we have taken into account about removal of the duplicates. We need to check if there is any duplicate value that is there in our data. Next, we have to standardize our data. Whatever be our data, we need to standardize those categorical data. Next, we need to create like new useful columns that are there that we need to take into count. Next, validate the total price. Next, we have to go ahead with sort and filter data, handle outliers. Next, we need to format the data for the readability purpose and data consistency checks that we need to take into count. So we'll see everything one by one. So the very first in the raw data, see, first we'll check on, let us go like according to the count. First we'll check for the missing values. Okay. So here we have a data for making you understand. I have just taken the data, and in some of the positions I have just omitted the values so that we can get into the form that where we can check for like how we can check for the missing values, right? So how will be doing that? There are many methods. So I'll just show you some of them. Okay, so we'll just check. So for as for now, you can think this is my data. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and select my whole data, whatever be the data. Just a moment. Yes, whatever be my data, I'll just select it. So I have selected it. Now I'll just press Control G. So I got it. So, yes, I got it. So I'll just check into for specials. Where when I have checked into for specials, I will check for blank. Okay. So then I'll go for OK. So whatever be the rows that are there, okay. So see, these are rows which are actually missing, that has got changed. Okay. Suppose I need to change any values up, so I'll just put. Suppose I want to put NA. Just a moment. Yeah. So I want to put NA to all those missing values. So I'll just write it down and will press Control Enter. So see all of the points where I have the missing values that has changed with the value that is NA. Okay. Have you seen, understood how we can deal with the missing values?
Ma'am, can you repeat the process, please, from starting?
Okay, sure, I'll do that. Okay, so this is my data set, fine. So this is the entire data set that I am having. Okay, so first I'll just select the entire data set. Just a moment. Yes. I'll select the entire data set. So it's been selected. Now I'll just go ahead and press Control G. We'll go to special. We'll go for blank. We'll press OK. So all of the parts in the data that is missing, that we can just figure it out. That has got highlighted. Fine. So now if I want to just replace, now if I want to replace any specific value. So suppose for this part, I want to put it the value as NA. So I'll just write NA and will press Control Enter. So all of the places where I got the missing values that has replaced with this NA values. Okay, understood?
Yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So this we will be doing when we have specific parts of the data that is missing, specific rows in the data that is missing. Okay. In that part, in that form, we will be doing this. Fine. So I'll just put Control Z. Okay, just a moment. Yeah. Let me do that. I'll show you another method how we can take into account for the second form. Okay, so we'll just select everything. Fine. Now we'll just go to data. Now we'll add filters. Okay, we have added filters. Now, suppose in any of the section I need to check this goes, that was totally for the, for the entire data specifically. But this will go according to columns. Whatever be our columns, it will check one by one based on the columns that I am having. Okay. So now how it checks, it will just go ahead. I'll just add filters. Now I have got the drop downs. So I'll just check it once. We'll just put it like that. I have got all. Like unselect all. We'll check for blank. We'll play like we'll select OK, and it will show me that what are based on the this column. Let's see. For order date, I have two rows that are vacant. There might be other rows based on the columns that is vacant, but it actually shows me what are the rows that I am getting vacant or missing based on my column name order date. Okay, we'll go and select all, and my data is back. Understood how we can use it while we will go for add filter, when how we can add filter and see based on my based on one by one on my column specifically. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So there is one more method how we can check take into account. We'll just select everything. We have selected everything. Now we'll go to Home tab. Okay. Next, we'll go to Conditional Formatting. Next, we'll go to Highlight Cell Rules. This one, we'll move to that. Then we'll choose for More Rules. We have got more rules. Now we'll take into account that that format only cells that contain. We'll check. We'll take into account format only cells that contain. Okay. Now we'll take into account the drop down. Just a minute. Yeah. This drop down will take into account. We'll select blank. Now we need to set a preview. Okay. So we need to format. Let us fill it with a red color. We'll press OK. Next, OK. So all of the parts where we got the missing values that has got highlighted. Clear, guys? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So there is, yeah. So we have shown three specific ways how we can check for that how we can handle the missing values. So there is another form. In that form also we take into account. So we'll just insert a column up here. Just a minute. Let me just, yeah. So now like let me just insert a column up. So here I'll use the if format. So I'll use if, okay, sorry, equal to if tab on. So I'll just select for this specific row I want to check. So I'll just check that equals to, just a minute. Okay, so we'll close and we'll select missing. We'll do that, else it will just print OK. We'll close the tab, enter. So we have got it row column wise also. See, where we got value, it printed OK, OK, OK. But where there is missing, it got us that the value is missing. So it is also column specific. So you can check it based on each of the column. Do it for every single column. It is not visible when we have a huge amount of data, but it is visible in certain case where we have only missing value in a particular column. Okay, so for that we can use this using keyboard. We can do this. So I guess I have shown you 4 methods how you can check into for missing values, right? So hope everything is clear up to now how we can go ahead and handle the missing value. This part is clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So now, great. So after we have done all of this, so the next part is after we have got all of this value, the next part would be to delete the values, right? If we have got this missing values up, so I need to delete it. So there might be some specific criteria where we can delete the entire row, and there might be some point where we can't delete the entire row, right? So we'll just take into count and check for that. Let me just go ahead and do the conditional formatting so that I got my values highlighted. We'll go to conditional formatting, cell, more rules. Next, I'll change it to blank. Okay, format it to red. Next, okay. Okay, so I got all my missing values that are there and I have put it into red so that it got highlighted. So now there are cases like if, so you can see for this column, you can say, sorry, for this row, you can see I have not got the order date, but all the essential details are there, like what item has been brought, to what unit it has brought, and what is the cost of that unit like per unit cost of that very item, and I also got the total value, right? So I have got everything, just I haven't got the order date. In that case, I can try and merge with the first date that I am having, because here we have got sales. We can't miss this value, right? So we'll just adjust with the date. We'll try and put any of the date possible. Okay. Similarly, here you can see like there is region where the central is like the region wise it is missing, but it has got me some of the sales. So I can't miss this. So I'll try and put any of the values. So I'll just take into count like what is the number of. I'll just count what is the number of east region, what is the number of central region, and what is the count of waste region. So what would be the majority? I'll try and put it here. Okay, understood how we can take into account all of this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So see here, all of the data I am having, but the total value I'm not having. But I can easily get it, but just by multiplying this. So I'll not omit the entire row here, right? So I'll just multiply this and get the sum value. So that is how I can get to the total value, right? But here, see, I neither I have got the total like the order date, neither I have got the unit or unit cost or total. So I have got the item. So I'll check if I have got the per price cost, or if it is similar for any of the units. I'll check for binder if the per unit cost for every person is same or not, or if the of this binder how many unit I have brought, I have no idea. So I have to delete this row, right? Because I have no option left to delete this row. to just carry on with this row, so I have to delete this row. So similarly, here also you can see here I have got sales, but what item? I haven't got any idea. So without the item, I can't find out what is the sale. So I'll delete both of these rows. Fine. So this is how we will be handling the missing values, finding the missing values, and will handle the missing values. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next is a correct data type. Okay. So if we'll check for each of this, like we'll check for suppose this, it is general. Suppose here I have changed this values. Here I have actually changed this values. So if for total, there are no values. Like it was not putting it like it is a numerical. So it is just giving general. So I need to put like I need to make my data as if like if I see my data, I get some of the clearance at least, right? So here I'll just go ahead, we'll select it, and we'll just go here. We'll try to put currency over here. So what type? So we'll get it the type wise and in the form, suppose, just a minute. So I'll just select everything. We'll right click, go to format cells. Now I want to put number. And if I can choose to place I want to put in, and I want this to be a number. So I'll just put it like this. See now here the data type has changed to number. So there are specific regions where I have text. The data is put it as text, not taken into count as number. So for each of the column, I'll need to go and see. So see here, it has got date, but it is not understandable in a form that I need to take into count. So I'll just go here and change the format of the date. Like I'll just select it. From here also we can go from format cells. We'll take the date and we'll choose the type and we'll press OK. So I'll got the order date in a formatted way so that I can like either. So I need to correct the data type. So if the data is in text or in any other format, then Excel can't understand it. Like if my suppose this data only, if it is in a text format, then Excel can't understand it as a data or a date format basically. So it won't time-based analysis, right? So in that format, I need to change it from text to date. Understood, guys, what I told?
Yes, ma'am.
So for all of the columns, I need to check we need to check and form the correct data type. We need to form it to a form that we need to correct all of the data types specifically. Next, of course, we need to remove the duplicates. So I guess everybody knows how we can check for the duplicates. From conditional state formatting only, we get the option highlight cell rule, then we can get the option of duplicate values. We go like suppose there is a data set, there is this. Suppose here I have got this item ID. This is unique for each of the data or each of the transaction that has taken into count, right? So I'll just go ahead and select it. Okay. And now we'll go to conditional formatting, go to add duplicate values, and it's asking which color. So here I have got no duplicate value, so it has got no colors. So suppose if any of the value, let me just copy and paste it or show it here, that would be better. Okay, fine. Okay, let me show it here because it is not coming up here. So I have taken the inserted value and will just, okay, just put this values. I'll just put this values here. Okay, I have put, so it doesn't contain this item ID actually. Okay, let me just copy it and paste it there. Okay, it has put it like that, not an issue. I'll just copy this round and will try to paste it. It won't work because it has removed cell. Okay, I guess that is due to any of the issues that is coming up related to that. Just a moment. So I have got this t value to be same. So how will be doing it? So we'll be selecting all of it. So now we'll go to conditional formatting. We'll in here. We'll check for duplicates. Yes. So see, it has given me the duplicate value. So it counts up where we have a primary key or unique value specifically, because if I check it for the representative format, so this Jones, this person might have brought another, taken another value into count and have brought another item maybe, or maybe the similar item with different price set. So this can be possible, right? So here you can see the person, like the items has repeated, like the representative name has repeated. That is quite obvious because we get same customer can brought the product from different, from a same e-commerce website. That is quite possible, right? So this is how we will taking it, the duplicate value, and slowly we will be like deleting it out. Fine, we got a format of deleting it out, and eventually we'll just delete it out. Fine. So this is how we can, from data tab only, we can delete it out. We can go to data. We can just go for remove the duplicates, and definitely we can go ahead with. Okay. So next we can go for, after removing the duplicates, we have to standardize the categorical data. What does it mean? Like here you can see, so here you can see in the original data, so I have got this data as East, Central, Central, West in this format, like in a sentence case, right? So there might be situation that one of the data might be in capital case, one in smaller case, one in sentence case, right? I need to fix it. So I'll just add another column, use upper, and then use this field and will change it to uppercase. Okay. So whatever suits you, you can choose it to lowercase as well, whatever suits you. So I have just changed the value into uppercase because Excel is case sensitive. They take each of the value, if they have a different case, it takes into different value. It doesn't take into account that the value is similar. It take into account that east in a capital case or a uppercase and east in lowercase as two different values, right? So see here, I have changed this and deleted this rows in my pre-processed data. Similarly for items, I did it. Okay. So this is how you can go for standardizing categorical data. Understood what I told?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
So great. So next, what we can do, we can create new useful columns, because with using useful columns, we can create our data in a form that we can use that in a multiple perspective. right? So here I have order dates, different order dates I am having. So I have just segregated based on months because the date I am having from 2024 to 2025. So it is possible I can segregate it based on year also, but I thought it would be better if I can segregate it based on month. But there is certain assumptions that we need for that we might need based on year also. So I can do that as well, right? So we can do based on years, we can do based on months. I did it based on months. So I have just used text, taken the value and taken it into MMM, like the month-wise format. If there is 3M, then it will just print Jan, Feb, March, like in this format. First three characters of the whole sentence or the whole word, you can say. Fine. So this is how we have used. We have taken into account of the creating useful column specifically. Next, what we have next. So we have standardized categorical data. We have created new columns. Next, we have to validate the total price, right? So accordingly, I have the total price value that is given. And I do have this unit value and I have this unit cost value, right? So now my target is to check for this total value, if this total value is correct or not, right? If this value is correct or not, right? So I'll just do the calculation up here. I'll just multiply the units with the unit cost and will get this value, right? So I have just stored it in another column. I have given the name of the column as calculated total. So this is how you need to calculate the total, because you can't trust on the data that is given. You need to check each and every possible details of the data that has been given. So you can't trust on the data that is given blindly, like that. You can't trust blindly on the data that has been given to you. So you need to cross check each and every detail that has been there. So here I have a criteria to check it down. So I have validated the total price, like calculated the total price. Now I have used another column, check validate. So I'll just do one thing in this case. I'll just use if I need to check this value with this value. If this value and this values are equal, then in validate it will print correct. If there is any error, it will print the error. Okay, if the value doesn't match, there it will print error. So this is how I have done the validation, because validation is very important. You can't understand, you can't just trust on the data that is given blindly. You need to cross check each and every detail that has been given to you. Okay. So now, next, after you have done validating the total price, if there is any other details also, you need to take into account that, like take into account what other values that you can check on. If here we have this total value, so if possible, you can take into account about the profit if the accurate data is given. So from that, I can definitely, like, if this is the cost and this is the total, I can definitely count the profit, right? So I can add another table for count, but here accurate data are not given so that I can count for profit. So I have it. So in some of the data, it is possible to count for profit. So go ahead, add the column for profit. Okay. So next is we need to sort and filter data. So because whatever be the data that has been given, the whole data. So I have just sorted it down. We can just sort it down. I have sorted it down to oldest to newest format. You can do it as well for any of the dates, so that all of the data gets changed and you can get a sorted format of the data. Okay, so that is very mandatory when we are doing the working with the pre-processed data, like working and making the data, like working with the raw data and making it into a form that you can use the data, try and sort the data and filter the data based on whatever be the filter that is necessary. So this is how we can take into account with all of this. Next, we have to go ahead for handle the outliers. Okay, so what are outliers, right? Anyone have idea about what is outliers? Guys, are you there?
Yeah, ma'am.
So what are outliers? You have any idea?
Ma'am,
It is an
extreme
extreme value.
minimum.
Yeah, please tell one by one, please.
Ma'am, I was saying outliers are extreme values like extreme minimum value and maximum value that goes out of the normal range.
Yeah, right. So if we take into account with all of these values, maybe the numerical values or basically the numerical values or any of the form, because categorical value we can definitely handle, but in any of the numerical values or specific any kind of value we get, so there might be outliers. What are the outliers? Where I have getting some of the specific range, most of the values are coming up in that very range, but I am getting some of the values that are very large and some of the value that are very small. Because I need to handle those values because they are not coming into that into a proper range, right? So how we can do that? We can do the conditional formatting to identify which the values, what the values are, which are not coming into the zone or which are very high or very less. So here the data is very huge, like in terms of like we have 44 rows of data, like 43 actually. So here, based on that, doing conditional formatting, we can only check into count with the extreme values that we have and the like the lowest value that we are having. So here, while we are checking it down for the extreme, we have got 275 that doesn't count into a form. That is the maximum that we can take into count. And for the red, we see the minimum values, right? So this is the way we can just highlight it, or even possible like we can sort it in a form that we get it from larger to smaller form. In that form also we can take into count. So after finding out what is the major issues or how we can investigate the outliers, so we need to what to do for the investigation purpose. We need to come up with all of this. And for this, suppose I am checking. See, for this is the unit I am getting, and this is the value I am getting for this. So I can take into account, yes, at least for this, we can get this value because the product is this, and we can get into account with other values also. Check and compare for other values. This is 125, then 275. So, and it is getting me some of the total value. So based on that, I didn't count it as outliers, but there might be if there is any mistake or any outliers that is more than range. Suppose I have got the value as 1 lakh or 1,200. Suppose this unit cost value, and that product has been brought multiple of times before also. Then that will be counted as outlier, and that then I will just remove that value. But here I got it into a certain range, so I haven't deleted that. Okay, so you need to check it. We can check the outliers by doing the conditional formatting, and also we can do it and sort it. If you can do it manually, you can just sort the data based on ascending order or descending order and check on the values based on that. And eventually, whatever, if we are getting any of the value that is way larger or way smaller from the range, then we will be just deleting those. Fine, clear, understood, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next we need to format the data for readability. So we'll check. We need to check for the alignment. We need to check for the borders so that we have the data well assigned so that we can take into account with that and make the data useful as well. Like it needs to be useful for us so that we can just check on with the data and eventually work with the data, right? Next, we need to check for data consistency checking. We need to check if our data, the data that we are working, that is consistent or not. We need to check for that. Okay, so for that specifically, what we are going and doing, we are taking into count. Suppose this value, unit value, there might be this generally take into count for. Suppose we have got some of the values and the values is less than zero. There might be any of the value because if the data is very large, I can't check it manually, right? I can't go to each of the data and check if there is any negative value or zero value or how it is. And for units, if the value is a negative, that doesn't make the sense, right? For numerical column, I'll check for the data quality, like for the quantity purpose. So I'll use the if format if the value is less than or equal to less than zero, or maybe we can put it less than or equal to zero. We can just take into count as error, else we can take into okay. So after it has printed, I have checked it multiple of times, so I haven't got the error. So my data is fine. So I'll just go ahead with the pivot chart and data visualization, then the dashboard. So clear how we can pre-processing. So all these 10 steps we need to follow while we have to go ahead and work with any of the data, and we need to pre-process that raw data. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So where are others? Why are others not responding? Is everything clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So we need to keep it like that. We need to take out the raw data. We need to uh, format that well so that it is looking at least appealing. We are understanding that these are the data that I am having in raw section. Now, in case of pre-processed data, keep it like that. Don't remove it. Like suppose you are extracting month, do it like that. In case of data validation, you have checked for data validation. Keep it like that so that you can make people understand you have checked for data validation. Not people, of course. For in your case, it would be client when you'll be working on a project, or eventually when you'll be working in any of the vast project and will be uploading in a GitHub. Try and keep a page for pre-processing and try to keep this section like this. And if possible, just highlight the columns that you have added with different colors so that it becomes easier for you and others also to identify these columns are not there in the raw data. You have added that raw data, that column specifically for the analysis purpose. Okay, so I also check the also keep this part as it is, like for checking validity, whatever. Sorry, checking validity, whatever be the step that you have added on the numerical data, try and keep that as it is. Don't just delete it from the pre-processed part. So see, from here we have taken into here. So this is how we need to go ahead and understand about pre-processing of the data and work with the pre-processed data. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm just taking the data for visualization. So I have taken most of the data, and those data that I would be needing to take into account, I have just deleted those for the data visualization, the data that I am taking for visualization. See, I have kept the pre-processed data as it is. For you also keep the data, pre-processed data as it is. And now for data visualization, just copy down the data and paste it in another page and delete whatever the columns you are not needing for analysis. So here you can see I have item ID. It is not putting any of the major inference in case of my analysis. So I have removed that, right? And I have taken this month and this region value I have taken into account, and this is how we are just going ahead. Fine. So this is the data for visualization. Now we have just gone and taken down the visuals. So first I need to check for the dashboard. So this is the dashboard that I am having. So this is how we need to create it. So I have lack of time. So I didn't get much of the time to accurately align it in a way that it looks perfect. But major task has been done here. So this is how we need to create a dashboard. And for that, the very first thing we need the KPIs. These values we would be needing to take into account. So we have just created this value like the sum total value we have taken into account. The sum average value we have taken into account. Okay. So we'll just go and see each of the steps side by side and we'll see how we have done that, right? So the very first thing, and I have tried, and in the dashboard you can see I have tried and include different types of charts and graphs that is possible to take into account because based on my data set. Fine. So this is the first one where I have taken into account about the total sales by region because here you can see that region plays an important role. Here we have segregated the entire sales that we have done based on region. So we have a visualization here based on the region. So here after I have, if you can see here, I have taken into account about the rows value, and we have taken into account the sum total. Like the in case of rows, I have taken this value, taken this region value, and in case of in the rows, I have taken the row value, and in case of the sum, I have uh, taken down the value of the total cost or the total price. This value I have taken into account. And I have used a 3D pie chart to work accordingly. And I have used the filters up here so that based on the item, I can filter it out. So let me put it to binder. So see the data has changed. Now I can change it. I have used the slicer here as well so that I can change it based on the month. Suppose I want to take into account for March. So see the value has changed. Like for central, I have got this value. So central has the highest value that we can. Excuse me, guys, just a minute. So here for central, you can see what is the amount I am getting for binder, the item binder, and the month I have taken in March. We can change it to October. See, there is the west. There is in the west region there was no sale for binder, and we have got the data like this. So this is how you can create the pivot along with the pivot table, along with the filter, along with the data, along with the plot that you are having and the slicer. Okay. So now I have taken into account with all of these values, like I have taken the items, the total sales by product we have taken into account. So here is the details, like based on, and I have segregated it based on month. Suppose let me put it for month March. So the data has changed accordingly. Now, if I change it to all, you can see the data, how it is coming up. And now you can see for pencil, the value is this. So here is the detailed understanding of the plot. Like I have got the binder, the data is like around uh, 10,000, the sale that have gone up. So that is around 10,000. I am getting the exact value also here. That is 9,577.65. And then after that, the pen set has got the highest sales. So you can see it that there. So the value is 4,169. So if you want, you can add the data labels as well for your understanding. Here also, let me just add the label and the data is like this. So I have got the pivot table, plot the chart along with that, filtered it based on month. Okay. So now based on representative, I have taken into account like based on the month and the sales that I have got, and I have taken like the filter base I have taken into as representative. Okay, so I have let me take it to Andrew. So the data is come up like this. For central only, I got the value and the value that I am getting, like the item specifically that Andrew brought, it is binder and pencil. and the value, like the chart wise, it is coming up in this format. Understood, guys, how we are going ahead? So these are all other plots that I have done. So here we have taken top five salesperson. There are many salesperson. We have segregated it based on the salesperson with the total value we have taken. Next, we have taken into count item per sale, item by per cost unit. What is the per cost unit I have got? And I have got the average price per unit cost. So this is item per unit cost and this is average price. So for this single data, like I have got the data is only same, the items is same. So I have taken got two values like either average value and for the sum, and I have plotted it down and also checked how and also we it is useful in case of comparing. Suppose I want to compare it down, I can do it from this two plots based on the sum and the average unit that I am getting. Here I did it based on the central, like the based on the values that I am getting, like the region specifically, along with the number of months, count of the month. And I have given the filter as item and have plotted two different graphs. One is the pie chart, another is a bar graph, so that side by side we can take into count, right? And eventually here we have gone down here and we have this is the chart 7, so we have taken into count quantity sold per by product over time. So along row I have taken the day. Okay, the date that is grouped into months, that value I have taken. Along column, I have taken the product values and I have got the sum value in the value section. So this is the chart I have got. So I have used the area chart over here. It is easily segregating like that pane set in what format and in which month we have got the major sale of it. So you can see the binder from January to March have got better score. Then it has gone from April. So all over the year, binder sale is more or less in the same range. So these are the insights that we can got it of here. And here it is the final one, that is the eighth one. So I have taken the value as high versus low unit price product that we have taken into account, average unit cost and average unit we have taken into account and plotted it down in this format. So this is all my charts that we have prepared from this raw data, and going ahead we have got the dashboard. So dashboard, there is a what dashboard, it is sales dashboard that we have prepared up. What are the KPIs that we have put it in place, that we have got average sales that we have got that we can take into account, and eventually what is the average sales that we have got and the top region by sales that I have taken into account. And whatever the plots that I have taken, that I have enlisted up here, along with the slicers that counts for month specifically, region specifically, and item specifically. So guys, understood how we can create it step by step in a format that we can use it up in a format that we can just showcase it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So everyone understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So hopefully whoever have done the project, they got the idea where to rectify and how to rectify. And the people who have not done the project, they got a better idea how to do the dashboard and how to analyze the data, how to work with the data, how to work with the pivot charts and table, in what format and how to create the dashboard. Right? Everything clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so whoever have not done the project yet, so try and do it and submit it as early as possible. So we'll just go ahead now with the sequel part. Let me just open my Word and get the data. Okay. Screen is visible, right, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So today, since we don't have much of the time left, we'll work with like we just go and understand about the SQL basics, what database is, how we can work with database. That major things we will be understanding in today's session, and tomorrow we'll work with the practical perspective of the SQL and work accordingly. Fine. So today we'll just see about SQL. So what databases and the details we will be understanding. Okay. So first is SQL. The full form of SQL is structured query language. So what SQL is? So it is a special computer language. You can understand it in a form that it is a special computer language used for communicating with the database. Okay. SQL is used. Why see what is SQL? SQL is used to communicate with the database. Okay, so this is how we can work with SQL. Next, what is database? If anyone having idea about database, just tell me what is database, guys.
In which data is stored.
Yeah, any other format you can say? Try and say in another format.
Ma'am, a database is a large file in which all the files are being kept.
Yeah, in a layman way, we can say it like that. So we can take it in account like the database is like a digital storage that needs to be clear that what it is. It is a digital storage. We can connect it in a form that digital storage room or digital store where we can keep all of the data in a organized format. This word should be there, that is in a organized format. Like we can't just keep the data, we have to keep the data in a organized format or the organized form so that we can call it a information, so that the data that is like the value that we are putting in it can be some of the information, right? So that then only it is becoming a data, else it's just numbers or just text, right? So what exactly database is? Database is like a digital storage where we keep a lot of organized data or a organized information in a form that we can create it into a form that we get the data exactly. Okay, so in case of real time scenario or real life base, if you can understand, we can imagine about library, right? In a library where there are many books, right, that are stored, but they are not like in a messy format. There you might have seen for in libraries we have got a different section for each of the subjects of the book. In school library or college library, you have seen. Suppose you are in engineering student, so there in your college library you can see there are for databases there are specific books that are kept in specific corner. For ml, if there is any book that is kept in any specific genre, there might be segregation based on software engineer based, like the date books that actually needed for software engineers, those books are kept separate. For mechanical engineers, their books are kept separated. Electrical engineers, their books are kept separated. So the data, the books in libraries are organized, right? So this is how you can take into count. Or there might be any of the form, like in any of the libraries, there might be sections based on friction, non-friction, science book, history book, etc. So each of them has a specific identity, or maybe identity from which you can understand that from here I have got this book and this book is for this specific purpose. So maybe the title of the book, author of the book, or the ISBN number that is unique to each of the book, and accordingly you can understand that here every set is different from each other based on each of the criteria, any of the specific criteria if you can take into account. Okay, understood, guys, what SQL is, what database is?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, what is the reason of using SQL, right? So, there are four important things for which we actually need SQL. First, to create and organize data. Next, to read the data or retrieve any of the information that we need from that specific slot. If we need to update the data or if we need to delete the data, in that perspective, we are needing SQL. Okay, so the four important things with the data that we for which we need SQL, that are create and organize data, to read the data or retrieve any specific information from the data, right? And then to update the data and then to delete the data. So suppose here I have this table. So suppose consider this as a SQL data. Now, I have organized each of the value against each of the each of the column name, and the data has been segregated based on columns and rows, right? Next, I can read the data. If any of the data I would be needing, I can easily get it down. I can update the data. So if any specific reason I need to update the data, I can do that. Or if I need to delete any specific, suppose this row I am not needing, I can easily delete this, right? So this action is known as CRUD. So CRUD operation, that is very well known in case of database. So this is how we can, all these options are. So C stand for create, R for read, U for update, D for delete. So these actions are possible in case of SQL. Okay. So these are the reason why we need SQL. So how we can take help of SQL in real time, if you can think it of like that. So in life or real time where SQL is used, if you want to understand, so you can see in any of the online shopping website. See here we have just taken the value. We have created a Flipkart data set like the dashboard. So from where this data came? So from where this data came, right? So when any purchase has done, the data has been taken down in SQL, right, or in any of the Excel format, so that we got this data in a form so that we can analyze the data later, and based on that create this dashboard, right? So for this in SQL also, what we do, whatever be the transaction that has been done in any of the online shopping website like Amazon, Flipkart, there with the help of SQL, we just list the product category, we find the price of a particular product, we can update stocks, suppose based on the orders that I am here having or I am placing in, or we can remove any of the product that is not taking into action nowadays. So this all of the action we can do with SQL in any online shopping website. Similarly, we can work with any of the hospital management where we can work. Similarly, we can keep track of the patient, doctors, even any of the appointments that has been made, any of the medicine that has been given, also the bills and other stuff, right? So this is the areas. There are other areas also. I have just given you example of two. So these are the areas where SQL plays a very important role. Okay. So next we'll go to the data type. So there are data types based on that. We'll just see it a bit later. Let us just go ahead with the two things, that is the keys of SQL, we can say, that is the primary key and the foreign key. Okay. So guys, you have idea about what primary key is, what foreign key is?
And primary key is unique and not null.
I am not able to get your voice. Can you just come again? Your voice is actually breaking in between.
Primary key is not null and unique to each column.
Sorry, I am not getting your voice is breaking. Can you please come again?
Am I
Guys,
audible?
others can. Yeah, now you're audible.
Ma'am, it's
Yeah,
unique and not null.
the primary one you are saying, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So actually it is like this only. So primary key, what it is unique identifier for each of the record that we are taking into count. So we have got this record. Okay, so here you can see the book ID, right? So I have got 1, 2, 3. So this would be unique. These are unique. So this for if we got enlisted for this book again in later section, but the ID would be different. Might be this like Harry Potter's this book has got any other version and the title kept as same. Okay, so I'll be writing it down in the later section of my sequel, right? But the ID would be different, right? The ID would be different because each of the title that I am giving to each of the book, the ID is separate. So ID is unique. So no, there would be no two books that have the same ID, right? So this is given as a primary key because here only we are getting the unique identifiers. Okay. So what are foreign key? Foreign key, what foreign key is? Foreign key actually what it does, it links it links one table with another. Okay. So suppose we have an older table and has a column that is customer ID. It will link with the two different tables together based on that exact column that is customer ID. Okay. Hope you understand about primary key and the foreign key, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So we'll just move into the data types in SQL. Okay. So in case of what are data types actually what it defines the type of data that can be stored in each of the column. Okay. So under book ID, I can't add text. I have the permission of only adding any of the numerical value, right? So what is the type of the data that can be included under the specific columns that has been given as the name of data types. So data types defined as the type of data that can be stored in each column of the table. Clear? Understood, guys? I just made it as simple as possible. Guys, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, try and respond because we are going from very basic. I know most of you might have known all of it, but we as far as our curriculum, we need to go from the basic. Then only we can do the hands-on. So try and like respond. Without that, things that doesn't like if you are not responding, I can't understand whether you are there in the session, you are understanding or what the scenario is. So try and respond, guys. So that is the bare
Can
minimum
you
thing
repeat
I am
data type?
asking. Sorry?
Oh, can you repeat that point, last point, data types?
Yeah. So data types, I actually told data types, it is defining as the types of data that can be stored in each of the column of the table. Right? Clear? Understood? So we'll just go ahead with the main types. What are the types of the data? So we can just segregate the categories of data types in around, suppose we can think it of as four format, or maybe we can take it into five formats. So five formats. So 5 formats, what are those? We can take it into numerical data, numeric data type, string data type, date. We can take it into 4 forms actually, but if we take it separately, it would be 5. But if we are joining it together, it would be 4 forms. That is numeric data type, string data type, date. Specifically, you can take or date or time also we can take into count. So we are taking as 4 formats: date and time type and the Boolean type. Okay. So numeric type, numeric data type. Next is string data type. Next is date and time. And then is Boolean. Okay. So in details, what we can see in numeric, what we can store, we can store numbers in a form like maybe age, salary, any of the quantity we can think of, we can store in numeric data type. In case of string data type, what we can store text value, maybe the name of a person, maybe the address of the person we can try and store. So date and time, where what we can store here, we can store dates and also times. Maybe the date of birth, maybe any of the order ID, maybe any of the transaction ID, like transaction based ID that we can try and, transaction date, order date, not ID. So because it is storing date and time, so it will store only the dates and times. So birth date, order date, transaction date, any of the specific date that is going to be stored in under date and time. And Boolean type, it stores true or false. In format, we can say yes or no. Fine. So this is the 4 types. So in details, we can think it of. So in case of numeric, we can think of int, float, and decimal. Okay. So in description wise, we can think it of int what it is, the whole numbers. That doesn't have any decimal. Like int, we can, if I have to say it or give you an example. Sorry, just a moment. Int, if we have to give it an example on, so we'll just go ahead for int. It is whole numbers. We can take into account age. That suppose I can store it as 22. Next, for suppose quantity I want to store, I can store it suppose 10. In that format, I can use int. So what whole numbers with no decimal. Next, I'll just go ahead for float. So what is float? That is numbers with decimals. Okay, numbers with decimals. Okay, so maybe we can think it of as weight. So maybe for weight, what we are getting, might get 50 kgs, 50.5, 50.5 kgs maybe. Let me write it like that for float. Weight is 50.5 kg. This is float. Actually, what it is number with decimal. And next is decimal. What decimal is? It is precise decimal numbers. Okay, precise decimal number. Basically, what it is for? Basically for money, maybe for salary perspective, we can use it. So we can use decimal. So decimal, basically what it is, we can use salary. Maybe, or maybe like this. So this is the salary of the person, that is 12,345.89. Okay, this is the salary of a person. So when we are storing salary, we'll take into account this decimal data type. Okay. Next, in this forms, we can take into account about the string type. What is the string data type? We have char, that is size, varchar, next the text. So one is char, varchar, and the text. So what actually in description formats, what is char? Char is actually character. It is showing characters. So that is size. We can think it of like the fixed length of text character. What it can showcase the fixed length text. Like if I have to store something in a fixed length of like fixed length of text, then only I'll be using character. So cat 10, suppose if I have been written in a form like cat 10, so it always choose values that I like text value that I will be getting in the 10 characters only can be stored. Apart from that, if any of the text value I have around 11 or 12 character, we can store it using cat. Then I'll be needing varchar. So varchar is variable length text. Varchar is variable length text. So suppose varchar 50. So John, we are writing John, suppose. So there are the it does have other values as well, right? So I can write it lower than the value also. So it's not possible, not mandatory that I have to add the characters till 50 characters only. So then we are using varchar. Understood? Guys, understood when we are using
Yeah,
char
yeah,
and
ma'am.
varchar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, fine. So next is the text. Text is like the large text, like very long text, like maybe description or comment. In that format, we are using text. Fine. So long text we can say, and varchar what it is variable length fixed. Sorry, variable length text. Okay, and character what it is fixed length text. Okay, so we'll just move ahead for date and time. So there is a format of date, time, and timestamps. So let me just write date, time, date, time, and timestamps. Okay, so what date gives? It stores only date. What date stores? It stores only date. Time, it stores only time. Date time, it stores both date and time. And timestamp, store a unique time value. Like maybe for recorded updates in that format, it stores a unique time value. Okay, so in case we have to take it, we take it the timestamps, but majorly we try and use date, time, and timestamps. Like date of birth is stored in date. Date time we store it in case of order time or order date. In that format, we store it like that, and we use the boolean one. Boolean one that is the value is true or false. In that format, we use boolean, or there are some ways we can use the binary data type also, that is blob. What is the type of binary? Is blob, that is blob. What it is, it stores images, audio, and also binary tree. Okay, so what binary data types? It is blob, and it stores images, audios, and the binary files. And boolean, what it is, it stores true and false value. Clear, guys? Understood what I told till now?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, great. So we'll just move ahead with the relational data type. So what relational data type is? So relational data type is the type of database where we can store our data in the form of tables, like with the form of rows and columns, and keep them in a perspective. Like we can take into connect from there, we take into count about the connects or each of the data that we are taking into account, that is actually relational database. As the name suggests, relation. So relation database, it is a type of database actually where we are storing the data in the form of tables and keep them related. Like we connect them all together to each other to form a bond between the data that we are taking into consideration. Okay, so we can think it of as a in a real time form. If we want to think it of, we can think it of as a student or a school ecosystem. You can think it of. Okay, so where we have the student table. Okay, where student table says, suppose in case of student table, what it says, student table, what it will be saying, it will saying the class, like the different class, like class table I'll be having. So just a minute. Class table I'll be having. So where actually what happens? It stores the information about the different classes. In school, there are many classes from like maybe from prep going down to class 12. So there are multiple of classes. Class table, what it does, it stores the information about different classes. Maybe there is a table of teacher table where it stores about the data of the teachers who are appointed there in the school, and based on that their schedule per day schedule may be stored in the teacher table and the details. So all this are actually connected. So suppose we have three tables like student table, class table, teachers table. So see here we can think of a connection. So we can store this in a rows and columns, but there would be different connections which will act accordingly and connect each of the table together. Right? Understood,
Yes, ma'am.
guys, what I told? Okay, fine,
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So we'll just stop here today. So we have learned about the relational database. So tomorrow we'll just come up and work accordingly. In the SQL form, I will try and write the codes to understand how we can do the CRUD operations and the other specific operations, maybe joint operations or any other related operations in SQL, and we'll work accordingly. Fine, guys. Understood everything today, whatever we told. I guess you people understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, great. Great. Then we'll just stop today here. We'll just wrap up our session today here. Hopefully, whoever have presented their project yesterday and day before yesterday, they have submitted the project, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So submission is mandatory, guys. Make sure that you submit the project, and whoever have not done the project yet, try and do it and submit it as soon as possible. Today also I have given you a detailed analysis how you can work through about your data and create a detailed dashboard. Hope things are clear to you and you can now easily, whoever haven't made it, now the things are clear, they can make it easily. Right, guys? Okay, great. So we'll just stop
Okay.
here today. We'll meet tomorrow accordingly.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.